रॉन्ग डिसीजंस महंगे पड़ते हैं और क्लैरिटी लाखों बचा सकती है। मेरे पापा ने बोला रियल इस्टेट में इन्वेस्ट करे, सेफ भी है, रिटर्न्स आएंगे या सिर्फ सरदर्द पड़ेगा। सच कहूँ तो ये क्वेश्चन सिर्फ उनके ही नहीं, हर किसी के हैं। इसलिए वी डिसाइडेड टू आस्क दैट फाइनेंस गाय हु गौरांग सांगवी हिमसेल्फ। एंड सच कहूँ तो ही नोज अबाउट फाइनेंस मच बेटर देन यू एंड आई। ये वीडियो में आपको रियल इस्टेट में इन्वेस्ट कैसे करें, रियल इस्टेट में इन्वेस्ट करने के सही तरीके और कुछ ट्रैप्स एंड इस चीज़ के असली प्रोज एंड कॉन्स क्या होते हैं वो सब पता चलेगा। अगर आप या आपके पेरेंट्स रियल इस्टेट में इन्वेस्ट करने का सोच रहे हैं तो ये वीडियो एक साथ ज़रूर देखें।
That we invest is real estate and real estate income. Now this is India's most favorite and ideally the best pastime this country follows. अरे इसका भाव कितना है, इस वाली प्रॉपर्टी का भाव कितना ऊपर गया या उस वाली प्रॉपर्टी का, अच्छा तुमको इनकम कितनी आई, या फिर इसमें मॉर्गेज कर सकते हैं और एक और प्रॉपर्टी खरीद सकते हैं। एंड इट्स अ ग्रेट पास टाइम दिस कंट्री डज, बट इट्स अ वेरी वेरी गुड इन्वेस्टमेंट। और आजकल क्या हो गया कि यंग बच्चों को बोल दिया गया कि रियल एस्टेट खराब है, which I think all of us, at least you and I, can agree. And this is what my father and my grandfather had taught me, that real estate always gives you a good return. Yes, in Mumbai, buying an apartment doesn't give you any return, which I and you both can agree now. But land investments or anything that we have built as physical asset stays not just with our generation, but multiple generations forward. And people forget that once you're invested in real estate, you've invested in today's price. Your price does not go up after that. Once you've made the payment, even if it's on an EMI, your EMI amount is fixed, and over 20 years you have an opportunity to pay, which is not available in any other asset class. So real estate is a great way if you all have invested in real estate wisely, where you get a good rental income from it. It's one of the best ways to substitute. I remember my grandfather being able to substitute his income as well as his investments from real estate, and that is the case with my father, and that is my ambition, that by the time I get to a retirement age of 60, I'm able to substitute both my rental income and potentially little SIP that I want to continue to do and never stop SIP, because mutual fund is not my money, and hopefully it's the next generation's money in the way. And I'm sure all of y'all also look at it. All the hard work that y'all have put is for the next generation or somebody in the family. And I think this is what makes India so unique to everybody else. Real estate is a very good investment if you have done it right. Residential gives you a much lower return, especially in a city like Bombay. It's barely giving you 1.5%. If you're lucky, it gives you a 2% return. But most people don't end up adding the cost of maintenance or property tax and other associated like brokerage cost to put it on rent. And so hence the return comes down to 1.5%. So residential is not ideal, but residential is important if it's for your house, for yourself, or for your children. It gives a sense of security, a sense of home, which most of these young people and the conversation on the internet is completely the opposite. So residential should be invested for use sake, in my view, because we are no more buying land like we used to. And if we are doing land, I think that's a safer investment if done at the right price and obviously in the right legal framework and security of the property. The other methods of real estate typically are commercial offices. Lot of people talk about, अच्छा एक गाला ले लेते हैं, एक इंडस्ट्रियल गाला ले लेते हैं, या फिर एक रिटेल दुकान ले लेते हैं जहाँ पे हम उसको रेंट पे डाल देंगे. Now these are good investments, but again the return is between 3 to 5%. Again, lots of brokers will try to sell us that the return is 7-8%, show you a mathematical model or a back of the envelope calculation. But please know there are lots of costs like stamp duty, like cost of property tax, cost of maintenance, even the cost of renting, and continuously it's a point that you will have to invest in. So please ensure that you have balance to do that. It's not bad. There are other methods like factory and warehousing. I think those are meant right for younger individuals, because you'll have to travel further distances and more complicated things to manage around. But residential is a good investment to consider. But ideally land, if not land, then the right asset class which is useful to you or your family, or you can easily put it on rent, and ideally something that is close to you or some family member that lives in it. Don't go buy a real estate or a land parcel far away in some village. Typically you will not be able to control or safeguard that property. Now one thing I must tell you is that there are lots of these new age real estate platforms. These are called fractional real estate. This has become a norm, and they are targeting a lot of senior citizens because senior citizen has the money. In my view, fractional investments are, till the time they're not regulated, and SEBI is trying to regulate them. So till the time they're not regulated, avoid them as much as possible. REITs is a good way. REITs are real estate investment trust. They're typically listed in the stock exchange. You could consider those because those are liquid investment. You can invest into it and it gives you a decent yield or a decent return, purely because these are based on cash flows that you will get rental assets from around the same. So these are some ways you can invest in land, a physical property, a home or a commercial office, or you can invest in real estate investment trusts. But avoid anything that is not SEBI registered. Should be completely avoided. Like how we don't invest in a real estate property that doesn't have a RERA registration. Hence, please don't invest in any investment scheme related to real estate which is not SEBI certified and ideally not listed. Why is it important to be listed? Because you can get your liquidity faster. It's easy to buy and sell of the same. So that is my favorite investment, the real estate class, which I think all of us should talk to our children, because they don't want to hear about it. They only want to hear stock market and what is sold to them internet on a single reel or a Instagram feed, as they say it. Avoid that. Have your conversation, because this is one thing that you can leave a legacy with your children, to consider looking at rental incomes for the long-term return. It is hard, but it is the best method to create a stable income for yourself.